What's up, guys? If you're seeing the title, I used to be lukewarm. You know, like a lot of us, when we come to this faith, you know, we are lukewarm, right? Because we're still being worked on and whatever. But I come to you today to say that being lukewarm is one of the worst positions in faith that you can ever be in, right? And the reason why is because you're living in delusion, right? You think that you're saved and that you're living for God, and yes, you are saved, but you think that you're really living for the Lord and living this lifestyle, but you're delusional. You're really not, right? And I can totally relate to this. I feel qualified to talk about it because I was there, you know, for a long time. And being in the lukewarm position is, a lot of people will lose their faith, you know, because they're halfway in, halfway out. And when you're halfway in, halfway out, you feel a constant pull back and forth, flesh, spirit. And not to say that you won't feel your flesh flare up at times when you are walking in the spirit, right? But it's much easier when you're intentional about walking in the spirit versus I'm halfway in, halfway out, right? And what does it mean to be halfway in, halfway out? A lot of people say they love God, man. A lot of people say they are Christian and that they're truly trying to be more Christ-like. They say this in their outwardly expression, right? But their actions speak so differently. Like, if you feel called out or convicted because of this, hey, if the shoe fits, right? But a lot of Christians, call themselves following Jesus, but they can't even read the Bible for 5 minutes a day, right? They can't even sit the time to take down and read the Bible for 5 minutes, which is not a lot of time. We spend 5 minutes doing everything else in the world, right? They don't even take time to really sit in prayer with intentional thoughts and effort and speaking with God, right? They can't even spend the time doing that, man. They spend more time planning their weekends, seeing what they got going on, hanging out with people that aren't trying to walk this walk. And I always say this, I'm not saying it's wrong at all to hang out with people that aren't walking the walk, but we have to be aware of our surroundings and who we're around, because they're gonna have influence on our lives, period, right? Who you're around, who you spend the most time with, they are going to influence you. It's just a fact, right? You can't get around that. Okay, so a lot of people say this and they spend all the time in the world just wasting their time on TikTok, watching stupid things all day, nothing that's actually making the mind grow. They're not fixed on the spirit, right? Things like that. Or they're just focused on money, focused on career, all these things. And they say they love God, but their actions don't really say that.